Cloud is no longer just a technology choice. It's a strategic business enabler. And today we are talking about, I know the previous panel delved a little bit into hybrid cloud, but we are talking about agility in the cloud. Like what do you see as the future of cloud in terms of agility and just being able to respond to the customers' demands? So how can businesses ensure their cloud strategy keeps pace with market shifts and the evolving customer needs? So I think I'll start with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Somehow Mike's playing tricks with you, right? All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all. Yeah. So my name is Solomon Chiedo. I represent Google Cloud. So how can cloud, basically be relevant to customers in their, strategy journeys? I think it's really, so cloud has been sold as technology a lot, but cloud has evolved to be a business solution, or rather a business enabler today, right? So cloud has to align to what the business is trying to do. And I think there's always a fundamental question is, do I even need cloud in the first place? And I think the answer to that question is, it depends on what you're trying to do as a business, right? So there are customers that are perfectly okay with what they run today because cloud is not aligned to their strategy. But there are customers, because of the pace at which you want to innovate and the pace at which you want to grow and the pace at which you are generating data, absolutely, cloud then becomes a key enabler for you because there's a lot of innovation and a lot of investment that are going into cloud to enable these technologies. And a lot of these technologies cannot just be ported on premise for you to be able to leverage. Therefore, staying on premise when cloud is what suits your business strategy, then you miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah, and I think I'll take it to Gigi. I think in the project that won Gigi the CIO of the Year awards, and there was I read a lot about reliance on cloud and what you guys were able to do with the cloud in the whole project. So, as an end user, what are some of the ideas around agility that really you guys on your end can take advantage of?
So we primarily use cloud to move fast and be able to serve multiple endpoints. And when I say endpoints, I mean touch points that we have with our clients and our partners. So you'll find that what we have on-prem, we technically want to keep it for internal use. But we found that if we want to move very quickly to our patients, to our partners, the cloud first is the best approach. And it's not so to say building a lot of application on cloud and then not being able to invest back into what we have already invested in on-prem. It's now just about ensuring that you take advantage of what the cloud can give you and also try as best as you can to bring in some of that advantage to even on your on-prem solutions. So for us, when we think about cloud, we think about if we want to move very quickly, what is the best way to use cloud to move?
Yeah. Okay, I think as Gigi is saying, speed is very key in terms of agility and just being able to deliver to customers. So I'll just go to Martin. I know Oracle has done a lot around the space, especially there are a lot of integrations and a lot of things that are happening around AI in the cloud. Just take us around the strategy. Is it something that is because of the needs of the clients, or is it something from your end where you want to empower the customers?
You can hear me. Good afternoon. So my name is Martin Waigo from Oracle. And as you mentioned, I think picking up from that point, speed or agility. I think I normally look back at, if you go back maybe 10, 15 years ago, I worked on projects, for example,
Remember at one time we were doing a modernization of a data warehouse, and it took us, I think, over 2 years. Basically, you've spent a lot of time scoping requirements, shipping in hardware, doing the setup, and months have gone before that. The reality of business today is that it doesn't have, that patience, because things are evolving very fast. You don't have right now. You cannot go to business and say that I'm starting on this project. We want to build an app, and it's something you want to go to market with, and the business is going to wait for 6 months or 1 year, or that kind of period. They want things quickly, and that's essentially one of the big beauties of cloud, in that you can set up services pretty quickly. Right now, you can set up, say, a data warehouse within a day and start building stuff, and within a month, within weeks, business is getting the benefits of that, as opposed to years or months before. And the other thing is, it's also equalized or flattened the access to services. And a good example is what you've just mentioned, AI. Now, give the example of Oracle. We have built the AI is built across the entire stack, from infrastructure to the database layer to the application layer, and all across that stack. And these services are then become available to all sizes of business across the world. So cloud has basically equalized access to very complex services for any kind of organization, be it a small startup with one employee to a multinational with hundreds of thousands of employees. So that has been one of the key benefits, that business can quickly, and any business can be able to benefit from that agility and all manner of services. The other thing to also note finally is that AI has actually sort of bloomed in the last couple of years. And the reason for that is, AI is not new. It's been talked about AI for over 70 years, from the 1940s. Remember the Alan Turing test of, will we ever get to a point where a machine actually is more intelligent than a human being? I think that question now can no longer be asked sort of as with what is happening with the large language models. You don't know whether you're talking to a machine or a person. But when you look at the evolution, for many years, we kept saying in the next 10 years, this is going to happen. And now it's become a reality, probably in the last 5 or so years. And the reason for that is AI is fully dependent on data. The AI has bloomed because there is now massive availability of data across the world. These large language models, ChatGPT 3.5, basically scan the entire internet, all the data available, and build that model. And the only way then to process that kind of data, that massive data, we normally say the data generated in the last 5 years is more than what was generated in the world all the other years before. The cloud computing is what enabled that massive capability to process that data. And as a result of that, now we have AI. And now the next step is, what do we build on top of the AI?
Okay, interesting. Coming back to speed, I think as on your end, as the guys who help other companies with the automation in the cloud, what is the cost versus agility implication? Is it because I'm sure if I asked most of people in the room, cost is normally at the center of everything. So on your end, how have you been able to handle that, and just trying to work with customers to still maintain agility while still keeping the costs as low as they can?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. So I think one of the major challenges with businesses in terms of agility, I know he was talking about, it's no brainer that you actually need cloud, and talking about AI and all of that. One thing that stands out is cost. How do we save cost? So for us, we help clients leverage on AWS to actually drive growth and innovation. And how we do this is how we could actually cost effectively help you utilize or leverage the full potentials of AWS without you burning out. And oftentimes than not, we hear people complaining about, oh, it's too expensive. Of course, integrating AI or leveraging on AI itself, it's quite expensive, right? Even thinking of trying to build the models by yourself, it's really expensive, the research and everything, right? So even using a third party, of course, it's definitely going to. But how do we do this? Is most times than not, we take clients through what we call cloud strategy session and help them with what we call cost optimization. Because sometimes, permit me to say, some of the technical teams within these client companies, some of them lacks the technical expertise to actually leverage on the cloud. So sometimes, as AWS you uses pay as you go. So sometimes you can actually turn what we call idle resources unknown to you, unknown to the tech team, and the thing keeps burning, right? It keeps burning unknown to you. And at the end of the month, you see a ridiculous build and you start screaming. So what we do is that we help you to identify some of those idle resources and we turn it off with our in-house cloud computing specialist. Then talking about integrating AI. I mean, I've been around the continent in different places and I found out that it's for businesses. Sometimes we know the benefit of AI. We know the impact, how it could benefit our business. But permit me to say, I think we have a little challenge, I might be wrong, but in the global south on how we can actually integrate this AI into our solution. Sometimes it could be for business, it could be for customers facing, right? It could be for your back end processing, improving efficiency with your business and things you need to do. But how do you successfully, which platform or which solutions can you actually leverage to actually drive this AI benefit to your product? So we also go as far as to tell you, look, we're going to show you how we can actually help you, move you into AI, help you leverage AI, show you the opportunities. First thing we do, we try to analyze your business. What are you doing? Are you an L-Tech? Are you an enterprise? Whichever sector or industry you find yourself, we bring real-time use cases that other clients or other persons have actually used. We show it to you and we try to understand what you're building, what you're championing, the solutions you're providing. And once we get clarity of this, we can provide solutions and guide you on how you can actually integrate AI, either for customers facing solution or you want to use it for your internal backend process. We would actually show you. So it's more practical, it's more real, and we try to shy you away from the buzzword so you could actually see the real benefit of leveraging on AI.
Okay, so I think I'll come to the man with the golden jacket again, Mr. Chehet. There was initially in the last 2 years, I think the conversation was around cloud adoption. Then it quickly went to flexible cloud. Now we are talking about agile cloud and AI in the cloud. So I just wanted to, what is the opportunities that are there? And does it mean we have won the adoption part of it and now we have to now just focus on agility or do we have to do them side by side?
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. I think the shift in conversation and the shifts that we also seen in how businesses and even individuals are leveraging on AI on cloud is as a result of the expansion in technology, availability of more scalable compute power that as businesses you can leverage on cloud. And when you're speaking about agility, it's not just about the speed, but what is the effectiveness of what you're able to do while you're on cloud. A lot of the service providers in that space are able to, leverage out of the box solutions that are offered through the cloud, right? If you look at Amazon, for example, You have the Amazon Bedrock, where you can bring your custom LLMs and build on AI solutions on top of it. On top of that, there's also SageMaker, where you basically able to leverage on a managing infrastructure to be able to drive your AI solutions and continue building with speed. When again, the other aspect is the ability to roll out or go to market fast, because you basically the heavy lifting of having to worry about setting up the data center and the infrastructure that is required is already taken care of. And as a business, you can now focus on your core business, whether you're building AI native solutions or if you're just augmenting AI and machine learning for purposes of enhancing your service delivery to your customers. The other bit is when you look at the different industries, especially the e-commerce customers, is the ability to serve their customers much better, right? If you're able to leverage on the AI agents, build chatbots that can respond to queries much faster, other than relying on the human factor, which we know is prone to errors and fatigue. So those are some of the shifts and changes that we are seeing in this market as well. A huge contributor also to the adoption is the awareness, right? With this awareness, of course, comes interest, and a lot of more people are getting to learn the skill and be able to build on top of what is already coming or being offered through the cloud.
Yeah, I think I'll go to Gigi, because I think the other panelists are all they're spreading the gospel of their individual clouds. So as the end user on here, I think the previous panel spoke a lot about spreading your risk and employing multi-cloud strategies. So do you think it's something that is an enabler for agility, or what are your thoughts around that?
Well, from a business approach, multi-cloud makes all the sense when you're talking about spreading your risk and also looking for the best performance in terms of the kind of applications that you want. But from where I'm sitting, I believe that we need a solution that we can comfortably predict. Yeah. We heard about data or repatriation from cloud. And I remember a story from Geico, who received a $300 million bill. And I can tell you, in that boardroom, it was very quick. It was a very quick decision on bringing back the compute. But maybe to offer a challenge to the cloud partners, and maybe to even Amrit over there on hardware, if we can get maybe something like cloud in a box. If I get a box from Amrit, he loads for me his Amazon or AWS or Azure or Google Cloud on it, because that's the kind of technology I want to consume. And also consult with Mr. Munya over here on what I would like to do. To me, that means we are giving back control to the user, right? And I believe I speak on behalf of every tech person who manages technology in the organization, saying that we understand that if you go cloud, you've taken care about on a lot on your ITGRC, governance, cybersecurity, updates. So we know the sense of going to cloud. But putting in the costs and putting in the skills investment, because now you have to invest in an AWS certified engineer, an Azure engineer, a Google Cloud engineer. So we need to be able to predictively calculate this cost. And traditionally, we are a CapEx model kind of business. And to me, having cloud in a box that I can host in a data center and load up Google Cloud, Amazon Cloud in a way that I can be able to assure my stakeholders that this is the amount that we need to spend on this solution predictably. But going back to your question, And from the previous panel, we will need to invest a lot in consultants, in ensuring that whatever we are trying to do, whatever we are trying to achieve, we are getting the best value from the best solution. And considering that we are not going to cloud for cloud's sake, yeah. Also, our clients are also getting the value and feeling the impact, mostly on how much they're spending on services from us. So if we adapt a service, this should only impact towards the client and us being able to serve the client faster.
Okay, interesting. So I think I'll come back to Solomon. The end users are demanding a lot, like what he just said. He wants cloud in a box. But what is the role and that the Kenya cloud policy, which is there to regulate, is it something that is enabling such kinds of innovation, or is it something that is stifling or making it slower, in your opinion?
Yeah, thanks. That's a good question. So I think kudos to the relevant government departments that are driving these initiatives. They're making efforts to define that strategy. Yeah. So there's the draft cloud and AI strategy that we're looking at right now, and we're all feeding back into that. There are aspects that we are comfortable with, we like, but there are aspects that we think are retrogressive. I think one of those being the restrictions around public cloud. I think that is something that pulls Kenya backwards in terms of innovating and in terms of being part of the global ecosystem, right? So, and that is feedback that we are giving. We are engaging actively. We have a team of government affairs and policy experts that are engaging and providing feedback and also benchmarking, because we are a global player and we have gone through this journey before. It's not the first time we're having this kind of engagement with the government, and policy makers. So I think there's some good things. It's a step forward, but I think there's still a bit of work to be done across industry and all stakeholders.
Yeah, I think I'll extend kind of the same question with Martin. I know Oracle a lot is in conversations with the government around the region, around cloud and everything. Is it something that will be beneficial to the market, in your opinion, the policy itself?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Kenya, the data cloud, the data policies has come in a very timely manner. And looking at even countries, benchmarking on other countries, like now, for instance, UAE. UAE has set a very ambitious target where they've said they want AI to contribute 20% of their non-oil GDP by 2031. Now, coming and that will involve a lot of things, including they have built a university that is a purely AI university. So building human capacity, attract collaboration with the private sector. And when you look at the Kenya data, the cloud policy, it's running on similar themes around having Kenya as a regional cloud hub. And we have the benefit of having, for instance, green energy with the geothermal and all, which is very attractive for the hyperscalers like ourselves. And of course, we are aware, Oracle publicly announced that we'll be having a region here. So those steps and building now that human capacity, I think we have the skills to be able to become a regional hub, to be able to look at cloud as a new driver of economic growth for the region, jobs for our people, and skills that we can serve the world. And to answer Gigi's question, actually, what you are talking about is actually exists now. Cloud in a box. Like on Oracle, we have something we call roving edge, which basically you get a cloud service in a box, including GPUs for AI workloads delivered to a customer. And it goes to the whole point of distributed cloud. We're going to see cloud become more and more distributed, available at scale all over the world, and also partnerships, even ourselves as cloud vendors like Oracle. We collaborate with Google, Azure, AWS. We have services that are running in their data center on our Exadata database running basically in, say, a Google cloud data center, and then you can use the Google services there. And Solomon, is my ex-colleague. We say in football terms, he's still our player playing for another team. Eh? So these collaborations also, as it doesn't mean that even as vendors we don't collaborate. We are partnering because at the end of the day, it's about giving the customer choice and flexibility to get the best of the services. Thank you.
Okay, so Spiff, I think the more we've held this conversation, we've tried to stick to the cloud, but AI keeps pulling us, and it seems obvious that we are not going to separate them anytime soon. So, is it going into 2025? Is it will AI take over the cloud? What are your thoughts? I think I'll have your thoughts around. I'll start with Spiff, and then we'll circle back. Yeah.
So I think to answer your question, first off, George, I would say in AWS we have what we call Outpost, so we can bring it to your prem, right? You could have it there, and I know a lot about data residency, but it's something you can actually lay hold of it, essentially. So talking about AI, taking over the cloud, I think. Is there any such things like that? All right. But I think there's a synergy, right? Leveraging AI for agility on your cloud, essentially. So take, for instance, we have a solution we call Wendu that actually help you. It's an AI solution that gives you 360 overview of your security, your cloud infrastructure seamlessly. So whether you're a technical person, you're not a technical person, what Wendu does is that it gives you that 360, so you know what's going on. That's the power of AI, right? On the cloud itself from that side. And I know he was talking about Amazon Bedrock and SageMaker and all of those things that plays a very essential role in your cloud journey, essentially. I think, let me leave him. All right.
So yeah, the question was around. I think he's answered most of it. How and from your perspective, in terms of the amount of courses you've done, especially around on AWS, I'm sure you have insights on how much AI we are looking to see across the platform. So, what are your thoughts going into 2025? Are we going to see a lot of AI on the cloud?
Absolutely, yes. And for obvious reasons. One is a lot of businesses now are understanding the value of the data that they have, right? And they want to leverage that data to make business meaningful decisions, right? So we're obviously going to see that conversations being carried forward, a lot of adoption by, from small to medium-sized businesses. And we can only just anticipate to see how much of AI is going to be, in the space.
I think our time is up. I think Gigi has a lot of thoughts on AI. If some of you, if you haven't read our magazine, the January issue, I think he lays it out there clearly on what his plans are and how excited he is about AI. So thank you, gentlemen. I think we can